Hello everyone, welcome to drinknectar.com. I'm your host, Josh Wade, and this is the internet's place to explore the five senses of coffee and wine. Today we're in downtown Spokane on West 2nd at Vintage Hill Cellars, one of the last wineries that haven't been to here in Spokane. I'm excited to go and talk with one of the owner winemakers, Cody George. We're going to step inside, see what it is they're doing and what they have planned for the future. Hey everybody, I'm here with Cody George of Vintage Hill Cellars. Really excited to spend some time with these guys. It's been a while since I've seen you, a few months. We met at an event, and I appreciate it. I know he's been busy, had a hard time connecting and all that other stuff with both of our schedules, so thanks for that. So anyway, tell us, you already told me, but tell everyone else how you got into this whole gig to begin with. I know you have a full-time job, and so does your partner, Brian. How does this happen?
Sure. So essentially, we started out as hobbyists more than anything, as kind of home winemakers. We did a lot of winemaking at home, and kind of went from blending finished wines ourselves to really bothering all the vineyards around the area. And
getting grapes.
Exactly, pretty much. And when you ask them, do you have 100 pounds of grapes that you can sell us, as opposed to 10, 15 tons? They kind of look at you a little funny, and then when you ask them to crush it for you as well is even the better part. But yeah, we would go from place to place to place and just try out different fruit, and really learned a lot by just making wine more than anything. A lot of friends would come by and end up taking bottles home, and before we knew it, we realized we were supplying all of our friends with free wine. And so I kind of turned to Brian at one point, and we were driving along back from Seattle, and I just said, hey, I think we should start a winery. And he pretty much looked over at me and just said, okay. And that was that.
When, was that in 2005, leading into it, or was
I think that conversation had probably was right around early 2005.
Okay, cool. So you guys started your first bonded production in 2006, and you started with, you said 450 cases. That's pretty ambitious for that first...
Yeah, it felt that way too. Although now I look back and it doesn't seem nearly as much as it does now. But yeah, we kind of did a practice run in 05 of just testing out what we wanted to make and putting that together, and just kind of went from there.
So what seems to be like your bread and butter now, the wine that people expect you to make, that you're becoming known for now that you're in this for 3 or 4 years?
It really depends. We have certain folks that come in for just one wine specifically, and they'll buy 4 cases of it because that's what they know they want. Our Viogniers sold very well. Certain people come in just for the Merlot Rosé, and we started off by making and releasing just whites and the Rosé for the first couple of years, because that's all that was ready while the reds were aging. Now that we've gotten into the reds, our Merlot and Syrah have been extremely popular. Our Cab Franc is sold out right now, and we're just getting ready to release our new Syrah this fall, and we just released a Bordeaux blend here back in May. Yeah,
I'm excited to try that in a second here with that. So you guys have been doing this, and this is your production facility, and I'll show some footage on that. So everything happens in this space.
Yeah, we bring the fruit right in off 2nd through the double doors. We crush it, age it, ferment it, bottle it, and drink it right here on site.
Right here, and you sell like 100% of it.
Yeah, for the most part, we sell it all out of the winery. We haven't gone to distributor yet, but yeah, we've been into a few restaurants like the Davenport and Spokane Club, Luna a little bit, and yeah, so a little bit of restaurants out there.
Cool. And that's like 1,200 cases. So that's pretty ambitious because you're not open all the time. So when you are open, I'm sure it gets to be busy, and then you have a wine club that's going pretty good. So what's your favorite part and the most challenging parts? I mean, you've been doing this for 4 years. Officially now on a bigger scale. Yeah. What are your favorite parts and your most challenging things?
I think some of the really cool things about it are just being down here late at night. During crush season, you have to pick the fruit when it's ready, and so we spend a lot of time down here with friends / volunteers, and they turn more towards volunteers than friends at the end of the season. Yeah. But really they come down, and we'll be down here till 2, 3 in the morning crushing fruit, and the jokes get pretty bad, but more amusing as the evening goes on. Eat some pizza, drink some wine, and just having good times. Brian and I do most of the pouring and tasting, at least least majority of it, and so we get to talk to people and drink
You
wine.
did some unique things. You're telling me about some of these, and it's not that you're claiming to be 100% organic and green and all of that. All of those are great precepts to have. What are some of the unique things that you're doing with leftovers?
Yeah, well, we got tired of throwing. I mean, in the winemaking process, you end up throwing just a ton of stuff away, whether it be grape skins and seeds or barrels or whatever it is. So we created some products, and these are soap where we take the grape skins after the winemaking process and infuse them into bars of soap. Like that's orange clove cab, lemongrass merlot, spearmint syrah.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so these
cool.
are fun, and we also do a couple of other things like a hand soap. This is like a lavender mint merlot, where it's a soft hand soap in a half wine bottle. We do some hand and foot scrub, where the crushed grape seeds end up being the exfoliant. And we also do a little thing. We chip up the $1,000 French oak barrels for a wine-soaked barbecue smoke.
That's a luxury that only the rich can afford, right? No.
Well, at $10 for some oak chips,
okay.
it's not too bad.
Sure.
We mark it down.
Okay. Well, let's. You have something exciting coming out, which is your '07 Syrah, and you said that's from Milbrandt and Burgess Vineyards. And you just pulled this out of the tank for me, and you'll be bottling it soon, and it'll be available in the fall. Let's give it a try. See what it is here.
Sounds good. So this wine is from both those vineyards. I get a lot of chewy roasted cherry flavors off of this one, and almost moves towards a smoky mid palate and finishes off with just a touch of white pepper.
You just have my job reviewing wine. Yeah. You nailed it right there. That's perfect. I mean, geez.
You can come up with your own description as well. Yeah.
I noticed this when I was doing when I tasted your wines before. There's just so much aroma that I almost want to ask, what are you doing different from everybody else? I mean, because it really is unique, and you have to experience it to understand what I'm saying, because it's not just a Syrah that you would get. I mean, definitely not like your Yellowtail Syrah, but even a well-made Syrah out of Walla Walla or something like that. It's just such a unique aroma. That's awesome. So anything else exciting you guys have planned? I mean, I know growth or whatever that you want to share as we wrap this up?
Yeah, well, we're just going to continue some steady growth and keep open, and hopefully put together some store hours to where maybe we'll be open for part of the summer.
Hire a tasting room staff or something,
That would be kind of the next step for us. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I do appreciate your time, and it's finally great to be able to come in and see the place, other than just from outside peering in the glass.
Call me anytime. I'll unlock you.
Life is always meant to be enjoyed with friends, and hope to consider you a new friend, and I appreciate it. Cheers.
Thanks for coming down.